Hello everybody, my name's Dr. Robin Kelly. I'm a family doctor concerned about the rollout of 5G and our exposure to the existing radio frequencies that have been increasing over the last 20 or 30 years. And of course 5G has problems of its own with its millimeter wave technology and its beam focusing and its beam formation and its power densities. However, it's the cumulative effect that really concerns me. And as a family doctor, my ethos is really first do no harm. And it's why I run this practice where I spend a lot of time talking to people and doing things like acupuncture rather than rushing into medication that may have side effects. And that's not ignoring the correct use of medication, which I'm still a fan of. So ICNIRP is this international commission for non-ionising radiation protection, and it's a self-selected group of experts who sit in Germany and have connections with several other international agencies and national agencies. It is made up mainly of people connected to the industry, not exclusively but mainly. And there has been some concern from two MPs from Europe who produced a very long report, in fact investigating the connections of the members, executive members of this committee. And of course it's understandable in some ways that they're very connected to the industry. And my concern about this has been highlighted recently following an article that appeared in businessscoop.co.nz on the 29th of May of this year. It was the press release of the Science Media Centre, and the Science Media Centre is the media outlet of New Zealand's Royal Society. And Royal Society consists of our most eminent scientists here. It's called Understanding 5G Concerns Expert Q&A, and I'll just read the opening lines of this for you. Recent attacks on cell phone towers have brought concerns over the rollout of 5G technology into sharp relief. It goes on, while scientific research has consistently shown that the technology does not adversely affect human health, public concerns about its impact have spread around the world, fueled in part by growing misinformation online. And I will stress that in fact it hasn't consistently shown that it does not affect human health. It's just the studies haven't been done. Absence of evidence does not prove evidence of absence, which is really the cornerstone of scientific inquiry, as is avoiding confirmation bias. Anyway, get back to this. The words scientific research are highlighted with a link to the ICNIRP website, and the words does not adversely affect human health are linked to the New Zealand Ministry of Health website concerning this issue. So if we directly link to the website, we can find on that website a whole page of disclaimers in different languages, but I will quote the relevant passage. This is on the ICNIRP's own site. ICNIRP undertakes all reasonable measures to ensure the reliability of information presented on the website, but does not guarantee the correctness, reliability or completeness of this information and views published. The content of a website is provided to you for information only. We do not assume any responsibility for any damage, including direct or indirect loss suffered by users or third parties in connection with the use of a website and or the information it contains, including for the use or the interpretation of any technical data, recommendations or specifications available on our website. So that's very interesting. So the information they're giving, they're not backing. They're legally protecting themselves against any fallout from health or otherwise. Now, as a medical doctor, I don't have that luxury. I cannot give somebody advice and then say that I'm not responsible for that advice. And even if I start quoting these people, that's not good enough, because this is just advice which they don't back. I have to assimilate all the information. And also, I am trained, and many of us are now, into looking at scientific papers and going right to the bottom and looking at that conflict of interest column that appears at the bottom. In fact, we've had to do this because of the growing concern from the best journals and their editors about the conflicts of interest from the authors and their links to drug companies. So family doctors have become very good at this. It seems that all those rules are being broken in a major way here. And a recent investigation into ICNIRP by a couple of eminent European MPs, members of Parliament, have exposed the links of the prominent members of ICNIRP to the industry, and in some ways that's understandable. Academics, after all, have to use computers and get their funding from them, but they're not independent. And I, as a doctor, have to make that call, say, are these people independent, or are they not unlike those people in the field, those doctors and scientists connected to the drug companies or the tobacco industries in the past. So we have to be on alert. And it is obvious. It is obvious that's the case. We're not making a judgment on any of them. It's obvious that is the case. So this is interesting. But it gets even more concerning for me, because a number of us have discovered in the last month or so that ICNIRP, this independent self-selected group of experts, is not only supported by our Ministry of Health, our government, but it's also sponsored by them, that actually government money, therefore your and I, taxpayers, we live in New Zealand, money, is going out to fund this group who do not back the information they're given on a legal basis. And then our government, of course, then quotes them, which they have in their website heavily, quotes them as being the gold standard. So we're feeding into them, they're feeding back, and those who are doing it aren't taking responsibility, back into our health department. And there's obviously not, I don't think there are practicing health professionals in our health department. There may be some advisors, but unfortunately our advisors, our medical advisors, our scientific advisors, have financial links to the industry. And that is clear, and there's no conspiracy here. You just check those on the website. Professor Juliet Gerard and Michelle Dickinson, Nano Girl. I mean, there's a slight hint there, isn't there? So we have our prominent scientists and our health department using ICNIRP with its industry bias, clearly, because you can get that through research, quoting that as the gold standard. And doctors like myself around the world saying, actually, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. This advice they're giving, which they don't back, I will look at. But they seem to be cherry picking. They seem to be ignoring not only just a few papers, but hundreds of papers that say we have to be incredibly cautious, what doctors call red flags. See, I don't think this is good enough. I don't think it's good enough for certainly my patients or the public. It's certainly not good enough for the environment and our children who are inheriting this. And it's not good enough that we are being gaslighted and called conspiracy theorists when we're actually doing the critical work that our scientists should be doing, and particularly our health scientists. So I'll leave you with that. Ponder on that. You can research it yourself, and I'm very grateful for you listening to me. Bye.